So after the 2015 so-called refugee crisis, Syrians are still the largest group among the other asylum seekers in crossings to Greece. I don't have much time, so I cannot talk about the crossings, but I can take some questions after the lecture, I hope. So not just conditional refugees, non-European asylum seekers, but also the Syrians are trying to leave Turkey, trying to leave the temporary protection system. And this is the reason behind this is people's protection needs are not met in Turkey because of the geographical limitation. Neither Syrians nor the other groups can gain refugee status, can access to the full list of rights that are set in the 1951 Refugee Convention. So since their protection needs are not met, people are leaving Turkey for the Western Europe. So the same problems of the old system continue. For example, the asylum requests of apprehended migrants in detention. As I said, they could be detained in police stations or gendarmerie stations at the border, but now there are official return centers set up by the EU funding. They used to be not taken before the new law, but now it's the same because the officers, the personnel of the return centers are the same. They are the police officers and they have the same mentality. So although it's written in the law, there is this institution of due process, if I talk with legal terms, although there is legal aid, for example, provided in the law on foreigners and international protection, the officers working at the return centers, they do not give this information to the asylum seekers in the return centers. They are not informed about their rights. They are not informed about the asylum process, international protection in Turkey. So they cannot get out of the return centers, and they are forced to leave the country as irregular migrants. So now what we see on the ground, instead of the Aegean borders, sea borders, we see pushbacks being conducted at the southeastern land borders by the Turkish security forces, because there is this concrete wall completed on the Syrian border. So because of this closure at the border, people are pushed back on the land border to go back to Syria. And by November 2017, at least 330 people died, actually killed, while trying to cross the border, the Turkish-Syrian border, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. So all eastern borders of Turkey were sealed off, and Turkey keeps its promise for the EU by detaining and deporting irregular migrants in the different regions of the country.